This is Harley Race, 8 times NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
This is Randy Rose from the original Midnight Express.
This is Todd Howard from Ellen Promotions.
This is Mr. Wrestling 2.
Hello, it's the hardcore legend, Mick Foley.
This is Q-Ball Carmichael.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're locked into BR Ringside. Just time.
I want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing? Yes, believe it or not, we made it almost on time. 3 minutes late, but guess what? I think that's a record for us. On this 22nd day of July, welcome into Beyond Ringside Live. 3 minutes after 5 in the Central Time Zone, 3 after 3 on the West Coast. From the ever-loving and ever-evolving sauna known as Studio One. I'll explain that a little bit later on in the day. Then again, maybe not. The air abounds in inside jokes. I am the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Study Layne, being joined by tag team partner, the incomparable MaBo Bowman.
Kill me now.
No.
Kill
No.
me now.
That'd be too easy.
It hurts.
Well, you wouldn't shoot me when I gave you the loaded gun. I'm not gonna shoot
You never
you.
get. Well, see, everybody knows that's a lie right now. Because if you would have given me the loaded gun, I'd have shot you.
Yeah, right.
I would.
That means all the.
I can guarantee you right now, when you become a zombie, and you will, yeah, all bets are off.
Oh no, I will just revert to my demonic apparition state, and I will haunt you forever.
Don't go into that made up crap. There's no such thing as demonic apparitions.
It's like there's no such thing as vampire strippers.
There is.
There's not.
You work with them.
Shut the hell up. And you fantasize about them.
Nope. No. I don't play with that stuff.
In the middle of Munford, you fantasize about them.
Nope.
On that note, now that we have everybody wondering exactly what the hell you're talking about, we're going to leave it at that. Slammiversary tonight, live on pay-per-view. Reports broke earlier today about a replacement in the international four-way match. Rich Swann out because of an injury at MLW last night. He is being replaced by the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams.
I hate to hear that. I mean, after what he went through with WWE and then, allegations dropped and whatnot and all that stuff, he's getting a second chance at Impact, and then he gets hurt. I mean, dude's a hell of a talent, man.
Well, after the injury, I'm pretty sure he'll be back in the full swing of things. It just, every once in a while, these things happen. Let's see. Yep. According to Wrestling News Source, which is where I picked up the original story from, according to reports as published by Wrestling News Source, Swann suffered a concussion. They're not saying how minor or major, how severe it is, during a tag match against Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith.
Well, that should have told you right there, buddy. Freaking Teddy Hart's involved. I mean, I'll say it. Teddy Hart has, and still has, had and still has all the potential in the world to have become one of the, when it was his time, about 10 years ago, maybe more than that, when it was his time to step up. He could have stepped up, and by now he could have been counted as one of the current generation's greatest superstars of all time.
Okay.
But and I'm not going to say the full word, he is an F-up.
Yeah.
He is an F-up. He is a liar. And there's something mentally wrong with him. He was the first grandson, or the grandchild. Well, he's the first grandchild in the Hart family. He was the leader of that next generation of Harts. And he could have, if he would have stayed with the WWE, if he hadn't screwed around and got fired, because he was signed to Deep South. If he hadn't screwed around and got fired, he could have been a big name. But no, he messed up. And it wasn't just that. Like, it was physically seen at an ROH show when ROH was still kind of in its infancy, maybe about 3 or 4 years in, a little bit after that. It was during a steel cage match. Something happened or whatever. The young kids got, like him, the little young lions there, they got beat up, what have you. And instead of doing the smart thing and selling at the end of the match, this fool, probably because of the D-rugs, climbs to the top of the cage and just starts moonsaulting off onto the mat. Just bleep, bleep, bleep. Just kept doing it.
How many times? I really don't remember.
2 or 3.
Okay.
It was a couple times, and it was enough that I can't remember if it was Homicide or CM Punk or somebody came out from the back and literally shot on him and beat the crap out of him.
I'd like to go back and look that story up just to see exactly what all happened and how.
Please do. I mean, like I said, it's been years since I've read this story, but it was all over the place. I mean, the one cool thing though is he does have the cat, Mr. Money, that he brings to the ring.
Right.
And that cat will sit on top of the ring post and not move.
Oh, there you go.
Match.
Smart cat.
Oh yeah, and then Davey Boy Jr., D.H. Smith, Perry Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those that he was signed. It was him and Tyson. They had
right.
Natalia.
I remember.
Only problem with him is what is your phrase? He has about as much personality as dried wallpaper paste.
I normally use that phrase for the assignment of an intelligence level. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, he's got the look, he's got the gift and everything, but he's got he's got the just the whole he's got the charisma of a saltine cracker without the saltine.
Okay. Or without the salt.
With the what?
Without the salt.
The salt, yeah. So I just woke up. Uncle Mark had an event last night, and he didn't get home until well after midnight and had to be up at 3 o'clock and then had to go work an 8-hour plus shift. So he's a little tired, a little sore.
There you go. Speaking of events, we are only a couple of weeks away from a huge event coming up in the great state of Tennessee, and that is going to be on August 3rd and August 4th in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Making a reference to the Scenic City Invitational, an event.
Eddie, you mispronounced it. The C it's Scenic.
No, it's Scenic. The first C in Scenic is silent.
So it's Scenic?
I said the first C in Scenic is silent. The second C is pronounced.
Scenic.
Scenic.
Scenic?
Come off the painkillers, Bowman. We know how you get when you start.
Oh, if I was.
We know how you get when you start popping Flintstone chewables.
If I was on painkillers, you'd be funnier. But we all enjoy the Scenic City. We were there last year.
Yup.
And I wonder if there was someone we could, I don't know, maybe have call in who could update us about everything. Do you have anybody in mind there, Eduardo?
Well, I'm one step ahead of you this time around because good friend of the family, Dylan Hales, is going to be joining us in about 20 minutes from right now. Mark?
Okay.
There you are. Normally you have something to say right about there, and it's like, nope, you just silent.
I laid out just to mess with you because I knew you wanted me to say something.
Way to go, kid. This
wait,
episode's going straight.
Is this Papa Hales?
No.
Another Hales I'm thinking of.
Right. Papa Hales is Dylan Hales' dad.
Ah, okay. All right.
Okay. As we've gone to hell in the first 10 minutes of the show tonight.
Huh?
As we've gone to hell in the first 10 minutes of the show tonight.
Hey, you know what? We're trying to strive for success and reach to be better. Why wait till the middle of the show? Let's get it over with.
Or at least the last segment of the show is when we normally take it straight to hell. Lo and behold, I'm going to go and throw some things out there. Some of the events, of course, happening this week. We, in pre-show, MaBo and I had the discussion, and he has not seen the new Aquaman trailer, which broke yesterday.
Yeah, I have not seen anything as far as, because, you know, Saturdays is where they usually pop the cherry on the, over at San Diego Comic-Con, you know, movies and releases and trailers and all that stuff. Wise, I haven't, mainly because, you know, they do for toys and everything, which, by the way, coming out of Ringside, you know, Ringside Collectibles had the scoop on the all the new WWE toys. Right now, all I've seen is Elite figures, and not the Elite, not to be, you know, Kenny Omega in them, but like Elite, WWE Elite. The Ruby Riot, amazing. The first Ronda Rousey, amazing. But there's a set, Eddie. Vanguard one with a little bust of, or I don't know if it's going to be a little cardboard picture of a holographic Matt Hardy, a mower of lawns, and Skarsgård the dilapidated boat, or is going to be as a toy pack.
I'm surprised Impact didn't jump on that one first, but by the same token.
Oh gosh!
And I have. By the way, speaking of, you said the yard thing. I have to give credit where credit is due, and I am not doing a plug for this company. I'm just sitting back going, a friend of mine posted on Facebook earlier today the back of a box truck, or hauler, so to speak, trailer hauler. And on the back, black trailer, white writing in the font. And I just absolutely fell out laughing. The name of the company is Lawn and Order.
I like that.
Oh, it was. I looked at him and went, okay, this is funny. And the fun part is this industry, and it had the tagline on it from Law and Order. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it said. I don't have the graphic in front of me, but it's an area code 334, which lets me know that it's in Alabama. So this is an Alabama company that came up with this. Hell yes, I'm good to go. Something good coming out of the...
That's towards Montgomery, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's South Alabama.
Oh, South. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got like a lot of the new figures coming out. Like I said, mostly Elites. You're gonna, you know, Tunsy Pop for this, because I saw it Thursday. I was sent the picture, and I immediately sent it to him. We will get a Sensational Sherry figure, and she looks to be in wrestling attire. So, and for those of you who knows Tunsy, some of the favorite wrestlers, Ted DiBiase, Jeff Jarrett, and Sensational Sherry Martel. But yeah, Saturday, you know, I've seen people already posting. They posted Aquaman. I haven't seen it yet, but I know the Aquaman trailer dropped. I know Godzilla 2. What was the other one you mentioned?
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam. Like my buddy Chico, he posted that, and you know, once again, last night or yesterday, I was at work. Minute work was over with. I came home, took a shower, fed the guinea pigs. I headed out to Munford to do Southern Legacy Wrestling. Was there till late. Came home, got up, went to work. Immediately came home again today, and it will attest. We conversed for maybe less than an hour during text, and then I was like, all right, last text I'm sending you, I'm going to sleep.
It was less than 5 minutes. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, is like, no, I'm talking about less than an hour from when I got home.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that part. You just said we spoke for less than an hour.
Well, I meant to say less than an hour after I got home. Yeah, and then I long enough for me to warm up a can of overstuffed beef ravioli, which I've become addicted to.
Oh, God.
And, yeah, that's it, kids. So, you know, I mean, I'll definitely check them out here once we go off air. I plan on it. I heard that the Shazam one actually kind of redeems itself the way, because everybody poo-pooed on it after, it's not John Krasinski, is it? Is he the one playing? Because I always get the guy from The Office and the guy that played Chuck confused.
I have not read the cast listing. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm just strictly going off the trailer.
Chuck.
I'm just strictly going off the trailer.
Yeah, well, I think it's the guy who played Chuck is playing Captain Marvel himself, Shazam.
Okay.
But, they were a couple months ago, it was kind of one of the pictures of, and I've always said this, whenever a studio, quote-unquote, leaks a picture of the costume, when a picture of the costume is leaked, I think it's just, the studio throwing it out there, just trying to keep the hype alive.
Yeah.
And especially when things kind of go bad with the movie that's supposed to precede it, a.k.a. Justice League.
What went wrong?
Go ahead.
What went wrong with Justice League?
A lot of people didn't like it. I finally watched it. I'm glad I didn't spend money on it, though, through a streaming service or from Redbox. But I finally watched it on HBO. I didn't think it was terrible, like some people were saying. I would have done things a little differently, tonal shifts and all that stuff. But you could definitely tell there were two directors. But I didn't think it was bad. Okay, let's put it that way. I didn't think it was bad.
I thought it was entertaining.
I was indifferent at most. I was indifferent. There were some funny parts. There were some fanboy parts where you're like, oh, look at that, look at that. So, but when we start up our own, beyond movie cast here, we'll get into that. But there was a picture, just a single picture released of Homeboy in the Captain Marvel costume, and I say Captain Marvel because that's who he is. He's not Shazam. He's technically Captain Marvel. Everybody knows Fawcett came out with Captain Marvel first, and then Marvel took it. And then when when DC went to purchase Fawcett, there were some issues, so they had to start calling him Shazam, or as I like to say, Shazam. And and it's always been back and forth. Sometimes, even in the comics, sometimes he's Shazam, sometimes he's Captain Marvel. So, it just depends. But they released a picture of it, and I didn't think it was bad. I actually liked it. Just the way it looked, because if you know how Captain Marvel has been presented originally in Fawcett and in DC before he was fully brought in, when Crisis on Infinite Earths, smushed all the universes together, he always existed in the Fawcett universe, what they called the Fawcett universe, which was Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, there was some anthropomorphic tiger,
right?
All this, yeah. But
Tawny.
If you go back and see it, yeah, thank you, Tawny. It had this almost this Archie comics look to it. Not as cartoony as Archie, but it was softer. You could tell it was for younger kids, kind of that look. And the way they came across, they were, no pun intended, no offense, people, but he came off very white bread. He didn't have that gritty edge and, or anything like that. I mean, he made Superman look like a drug dealer. That's how bad Captain Marvel was at sometimes.
Right.
But the way the actor looked in the costume, I thought it looked very, comic booky, that's okay when it comes to Captain Marvel Shazam, because that's what he was. He was very comic booky, and some people were like, "Ooh, the muscles there, you could see they're fake." Look, kids, back in 1988, 89, when Michael Keaton slapped on that rubber suit and it had the built-in abs and all that stuff, we knew that wasn't Michael Keaton. So calm down.
Or let's go back even further than that, when CBS first aired the Saturday morning television show Shazam with Jackson Bostwick in the title role as Captain Marvel Shazam. Lo and behold, not everybody made it a point to get jacked and cut for a role like this. Now, granted, in this day and age, it's like I'm watching a clip from The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon with Jason Momoa and he playing Water War. And I'm sitting back going, I would still be afraid for Momoa to punch me. I mean,
exactly.
My God, that guy's got arms. But I mean,
I still think I still think WWE is letting Roman Reigns grow in his beard so he can kind of look like Aquaman when it comes out.
There you go. I'm waiting on that one. When's he going to carry around a pitchfork?
he couldn't get over with a pitchfork.
He couldn't get over with a crane.
But, exactly. But, like I said, as soon as we get through, we're going to be, calling it quits a little early tonight.
Yes.
But, as soon as we get done, and now that I've got a little bit of rest behind me, I'm going to take the time to pull up the old YouTubes on the television, and I'm going to check out the trailers. But, I would like to hear your opinions on them real quick, and then I want to hit you with something, and then we'll get to we'll actually get into some wrestling, maybe, on a wrestling podcast. And
actually, Dylan is slated to, Dylan Hales from SCI is supposed to be calling in a few minutes. Do me a favor. I'm going to have to take a quick break for a second. I've got a situation here at Studio One. We will be right back on Beyond Ringside Live right after this.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live, where the chaos continues in more ways that I've got active brain cells. But for those who know me, that brain cell count has been in serious trouble since the mid-1980s. And yes, I am that old. I would talk about the Revolutionary War, but I was only 3 years old at the time. Fast Eddie Layne on this side of the control panel, welcoming back in tag team partner Mark MaBo Bowman.
Hey, does anybody know any shows that have booked Cassius Ohno here recently? Trying to get his autograph.
Welcoming in tag team partner, special surprise guest, the SS Schmitke, Billy Schmitke. What's up, brother?
David Young for president.
Thought you were going to say Chase Stevens for a second there, just to aggravate somebody. And, ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure to have I would like to always say one of our new best friends, but of course, in his recurring role, he has become extended family in this particular circumstance. From the Scenic City Group, hosting the Scenic City Invitational, Dylan Hales. Dylan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. We actually did book that guy Cassius Ohno a couple years back in Chattanooga. I don't know. I heard he was selling out some high school auditorium or some football stadium out there in Huntsville. I don't know. I mean, that seems like a legit deal to me from everything I've seen.
I thought it was legit, man. I was wanting to meet him. I even gave the guy my credit card number and bank account info so I can get that advance ticket, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'd already made plans to take the day off work and go over and enjoy the... Oh, wait, no, that's only when I work with promotions in downtown Atlanta. Never mind. But before I get serious, I'm going to get letters for that one. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. We are 2 weeks away. Can you believe we are 2 weeks away, Dylan, from the SCI?
I can't believe it, no. It's been a wild summer. This has been, this is the fourth annual Scenic City Invitational. It was the first time that we've been up at Saudi Daisy for the tournament. The previous 2 years we've been at East Hamilton High School. This year we're at Saudi Daisy High School, which is a little bit farther out here in Hamilton County, Tennessee, of course. And you're as prepared as you can be for something like this, obviously, but this summer really feels like it has flown by fast, and the wrestling news cycle moves faster and faster every single year. There are so many destination shows this year, I think. There are so many big events going on the independent level, especially on the independent level almost. It almost feels like the WWE is dark by comparison to the independents in terms of buzz and what people are talking about on social media, at least. And it's been wild, but we're ready to go. Like you said, it's just as we record this, I guess 12 days out, almost to the minute when doors open. In fact, as we record this,
we're broadcasting.
We're ready
live.
to go.
Record? Hell, we're broadcasting live. What you talking about, Turkey?
Hey,
I know.
antiquated. I've got these old these old ways of looking at things. You got to bring me into the 21st century, Eddie.
Wow, and I'm twice his age, and he said that. Go figure that one out. Actually, I think I'm 3 times his age, depending on exactly what time zone we're in. Say it, Billy. I dare you. I'm getting the look from the.
It may be the case. I don't know. I'm older than I look, though. We'll put it that way. I'm a modest and beautiful and lovely 36. So.
Now, does that include day of event or day after event?
Well, I've really done myself in this year because on top of the SCI proper, the 2-day tournament that we run every year here in the greater Chattanooga area, which will be taking place again August 3rd and 4th, Saudi Daisy High School. I'll get every plug in I can as we're doing it live. But on top of that, we've also got the Future Showcase event, which will be Saturday afternoon also at Saudi Daisy High School. That takes place at 2 p.m. And then foolishly, I'll be doing commentary and getting into even more trouble that Sunday up in Nashville at Southern Underground Pro at Basement East, which is a 2 p.m. Central Time start. So I've got 4 shows in 3 days. I will probably not be able to walk, breathe, or construct sentences by the time it's over with.
You remind me of me. Take 1 too many and call me in the morning.
That's pretty much where we are with this. But I'm excited about it. All the shows are different in their own way. I've been telling people, encouraging people, if you're especially if you're coming from out of town, and of course we're fortunate enough to have a lot of people who do come out of town for the Scenic City events. If you're heading back north or you're heading somewhere into the Midwest especially, stop by that show in Nashville. It's going to be a wild card as well. I mean, it really is a big weekend for independent wrestling in the state of Tennessee coming up August 3rd, 4th, and really 5th.
Now, speaking of the 4th, let's go. We're going to definitely start nailing down all the concepts and everything in place for the SCI. But you mentioned it, and I want to jump on it. From Saudi Daisy High School, once again, the address is 618 Sequoia Access Road in Saudi Daisy. It's going to be an afternoon event. Doors open 1:30, bell time 2 o'clock. And it's for the Futures Showcase Tournament. How was this born?
Well, basically, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it that way, because the thing about this show, I'm going to be real honest. I'm going full shooter mode here. Everybody that's seen this poster or talked to me about the show, they're either like, "This is awesome! It's more wrestling. It's something else we can do." Or they're like, "Why'd you add another show, man? I wanted to sleep in late because I plan on getting drunk Friday." It's everybody's on one extreme or the other. But really, the mentality for this show is there's so much good talent in the southeastern part of the United States, especially, and that does not get an opportunity to perform on bigger events. SCI is fortunate enough to be a pretty big event, and we've got this extra time slot. The gym's already open to us. The seats are going to be out there. In previous years, we've done seminars to get some of the younger talent, an opportunity to train with a talented performer, somebody like a Chris Hero, for example, who we did have before do that back in 2016. And this year, the thing about running a seminar is it's a lot of stress, and there's no guarantee about how things are going to turn out.
Right.
It's not to say that they're not worth it. I actually think they can absolutely be worth it. But we figured, why don't we try something different? We already knew that there were some guys that we really wanted a spot for, that we just, for whatever reason, we knew it would be hard to squeeze them on the main card. And, I'm thinking about somebody like an O'Shea Edwards, for example, who travels the roads and has hit the road super hard. He's been all over the place, really earned his spot in the southeastern scene. And we just couldn't fit him in the tournament proper this year, even though he was on the main card last year as part of a 6-man tag on night 2. Guys like that, there's so many guys like that we wanted to give these guys an opportunity. And the reality is this is such a fun show and such a different concept. We didn't want to make this like everything else that we already do with the SCI. So it's going to be 3 triple threat matches to a triple threat final. It's going to be 9 of what I consider to be the top prospects in the southeastern region of the United States will be participating in the tournament. And it's going to be a quick show. There's a lot of tournaments that do stuff like this. AIW over J-Lit weekend that they do Memorial Day weekend. They have a tag team tournament that they did this year. WXW, which runs in Germany, 16 karat gold. They'll have what they call an ambition tournament, which is a shoot style tournament. And that's kind of what we wanted to do here, was just give a little bit more value to the fans. If they want to come, it's only $5 if you have a ticket to the night show. That's virtually nothing.
Yeah,
and,
true.
You get to see guys that are really, really good, guys that are really, really developing and cultivating a following all over the United States. I mean, somebody like Marco Stunt, for example, was just in a featured match on Powerbomb.tv from Black Label Pro that a lot of people thought was a show stealer on their event just last weekend. So, and he's going to be on that event. Kevin Koo's another one. He's one of the top guys in Southern Underground Pro, one of the champion at Pro Wrestling Freedom in Southern Indiana. And he's in that tournament. So you're going to be able to see some pretty big names relative to a $5 price if you come out to that event Saturday afternoon. And it gets these guys an opportunity to work in front of some people that they might not, normally get in front of, and in front of a crowd that I think will be enthusiastic to see some of the top prospects in the region.
Let me take a look at this one.
Hold on, Eddie. Why don't you just go ahead and call it like it is, Dylan? Why don't you just go ahead and call it the Victims of O'Shea Edwards tournament? Because that's what it's going to be.
Listen, it may well be that.
You're a Mark.
MaBo, no.
You're a Mark.
I don't understand. And I'm nothing against, the secondary tournament, like you brought up, AIW, WXW. Chikara does Rey de Voladores during King of Trios.
Right.
That's fine. But O'Shea Edwards should be in the Scenic City Invitational proper. I mean,
he'll have that opportunity.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because this is a perfect opportunity for O'Shea Edwards, or anybody else for that matter that's on this Futures event, to make me and Scott Hensley and the other shot callers at SCI look like idiots. Because if he steamrolls through this thing, you know what? I will be the first person to come back on this show and tell you you're right. And believe it. Listen,
don't worry, you won't have to do that.
Bubby, I love you. I love you, Dylan. I love you. You're a sweet kid. I do, Bubby. I love you. But O'Shea Edwards is not a futures. O'Shea Edwards is a now.
Wait. Hold on.
Samurai is a now.
Hold on.
The Big Bad Kaiju is a now. He should be first seed in this tournament. Other than Corey Hollis, O'Shea Edwards is the top talent of the Southeast, spreading out globally, and he should be in the tournament proper. And then, you know what? Don't even have the proper. We just, instead of a Scenic City Invitational, let's just go ahead and call it the O'Shea Edwards Appreciation Tournament. And the fans just come in, and you know what? They maybe get 2 minutes to gaze upon him, maybe get an autograph. Of course, that'll be $15. We got to make money. Mr. Edwards has to eat. So, I mean, do I have to come up to Saudi Daisy and speak with you guys? Tell you how to properly run a tournament?
Dylan,
absolutely you do. And
Dylan?
Tickets are $10 general admission and $15 floor seats. I'll be happy to sell you.
Beautiful comeback. Thank you. That's why you got the standing ovation.
I didn't stand.
Shut up, Billy. See, even the judge agreed. Thank you, Iris Guts. Now, in all seriousness, let's take a look at this one real quick, because as Dylan made a reference a minute ago, this will consist, now the Futures Tournament will consist of 3 first-round triple threat matches. In one of the matches, and a lot of these names, folks, you're going to recognize from different parts of the southeastern U.S., different parts of the eastern seaboard, as well as different parts of the country. I'm making reference to this match, O'Shea Edwards, which, MaBo might have just made a passing reference to for the last 10 minutes. Taking on versus
O'Shea.
Okay, the SS is at it again. O'Shea Edwards versus Mr. Brickster versus Jaden Newman.
The
Dylan?
winner will be Mr. Brickster. Brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
Hey, Brick has more heart than almost anybody in pro wrestling. He's obviously very, very new to this, but he's already getting bookings in places like New York and Indiana, having just really finished up training with Kerry Offal and the Crux Wrestling guys in Nashville, in the Nashville area. Actually, really out of Tullahoma is where they do their training. That's a cheap plug for my buddies there. And, Jaden Newman is a guy that has gone from 0 to 60 real quick. he was the guy that was the butt of a lot of jokes for a long time. Let's just be honest about it, okay? And if you've seen him in the last year especially, he is not the same wrestler that he was before.
Very true.
He's a totally different performer, much more polished, much more savvy. He does not wrestle with even a hint of fear anymore. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. On paper, O'Shea, of course, is the favorite in this match. He is. But it's a triple threat. It's one fall. You know, if he gets distracted or gets taken out of the ring for a second, anything can happen in a triple threat match.
O'Shea Edwards does not get distracted. He destroys.
O'Shea Edwards can't do nothing.
Oh, God. We're in the second qualifier. Two of these three gentlemen I know very well, having worked with them at different promotions around the Southeast, especially in the state of Georgia and in Alabama. Alan Angels versus Marco Stunt versus the Pale Rider Josie Quinn.
Oh, that's that fake Elias guy.
No, that's the guy Elias wishes he could be.
I mean, to me, this match probably exemplifies the Futures theme better than any of the other matches.
It does.
In the sense that all three of these guys are guys that I think could be legitimate breakout players from this region of the United States at any point in the next calendar year. Alan Angels is another guy that's improved extremely rapidly, WWA 4 guy, super talented, does a lot of work in the Cornelia area, but gets around, and travels, is willing to get his legs under him. You've got Marco Stunt, who I think has become a real cult favorite. I mean, he's tiny. You know, he's so small, he's barely visible to the naked eye. But he's capable of doing so much in the ring. And when you talk about resiliency, really Marco Stunt is, to me, the first guy in independent wrestling that comes to mind because he takes such a beating and yet always manages to eke out these victories. He's really become a cult favorite, especially at Southern Underground Pro in Nashville. And then, you know, Josie Quinn, I think, might be the most underrated bell-to-bell technician and thinking man's wrestler in this area.
Agreed. No, I will agree on that one.
He's got a very high ceiling. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, after I've worked with Josie on a couple of different occasions, and just to go bell to bell with this guy, just watching the ring presence, the acumen, and he continues to build on that. I mean, it's like you see him one time and it's like, man, this guy's good. You see him the next time, it's like, wow, he was better than the last time I saw him. And he was good then.
He gets better every time out, which is the best thing you could say about a young pro wrestler. Is that they're improving constantly. Mm-hmm. There's so many guys in this business who get good, right? And then they just think that's enough. No. And they don't do that. Like, this. I mean, it's laughable. That's the correct response to that. But one of the things I like about this field is you look at this field for this Futures tournament. It's filled with guys who are good already, but this is about getting them to the next level, and they know that.
And the third opening round match is going to feature Austin Jordan versus Sean Legacy versus Kevin Koo.
This is a tough one because, you know, I feel like Kevin Koo almost is a ringer in this field. And I'll just say it flat out. You know, he's a champion at a relatively big-time promotion in kind of this region. I mean, Kentuckiana sort of counts, right?
Southeast.
and he's... You know, he's the top guy there. He's one of the top guys at Southern Underground Pro. You know, when Ike Cross was sort of called up to the SCI proper, Kyle Matthews stepped in and sort of pulled his card and said, "This is who I want to take my spot." It put us in a position where we needed to fill that gap. We started looking around, and it was just a feeling like Kevin Koo's another one of these guys, like an O'Shea Edwards, who honestly could be in the SCI field itself. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not that is a advantage for him or a disadvantage. Because sometimes guys use that as motivation, and sometimes it becomes a problem. And you've got two very hungry guys from the Carolinas, and Austin Jordan and Sean Legacy in this matchup, who they're unknown. The pressure's not on them. The pressure in this match is actually on Kevin Koo.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Dylan. Since we've already established that O'Shea Edwards isn't a Futures, he's a now. He just give him the tournament cup for Scenic City. We've already discussed that. Now you want to talk about a proper Futures champion, that is Sean Legacy. I've had the pleasure to work with Sean Legacy on multiple occasions. I have had the pleasure of calling matches of Sean Legacy on multiple occasions. I have watched Sean Legacy tear it down with another top prospect, Hunter Young, multiple occasions. The kid's got the look, the kid's got the charisma, the kid's got the skill set. He went to the finals of the Southern Legacy Wrestling Television Tournament.
He's a loser.
Wrestled 4 matches in one night. He only lost because Cody Wyndham's a cheater. So, once again, I'm going to save you the problems, Dylan. I'm going to save you the problem, Dylan. At the beginning of the tournament, where you would start the triple threats and yada yada down by the river in a van, just bring Mr. Legacy out, present him with the trophy, shake his hand.
Wait.
Get your photo opportunities. Get your photo opportunities. So we can help get your social media presence up there, kiddo. We know you need all the help you can get.
Oh God.
And then
Wizard.
That's it. So we've got Sean Legacy. He's got the Futures, championship gimmick thing locked in there. The next night we'll have Shay. Boom, Shay O'Shea Edwards Appreciation Night.
Same night.
Don't let Corey Hollis have any cake. We know what'll happen if he has any
sugar-free only.
So, it's a lock, man. It's a lock.
See what I put up with, Dylan? See what I put up with here?
I just want to know how much he's being paid by Legacy and O'Shea. I mean, this is like, if you're not a paid agent, these guys need to get on the ball. I need to contact them ASAP. You need to be doing negotiations and these guys need to be on board with you. You've got the good hard sell here, making my job easier.
Mr. Legacy and Mr. Edwards, the only pay they gift me with is their gratitude. They are both, Sean Legacy is a good friend of mine. O'Shea Edwards, great friend of mine.
And
look out for my friends.
Then what would happen? What happened about this box of habanero Takis that you were allegedly given with Merry Christmas from Legacy?
I don't eat Takis, dude. Ugh. Those are the food of the peasants.
See, you don't sell for crap.
No.
You don't sell for crap, but you expect us to.
I was taught well. I was taught by Southern Legacy. I don't sell anything.
Oh, boy! And don't pay either.
Whoa! Hey, put that 6-shooter away there, cowboy.
Well, I can pull mine out and go to town SLW.
And you're not. But once,
in all honesty, Sean Legacy is a tremendous talent. I am glad that he is being featured in this tournament, this Futures tournament, because I've said from day one and this is legitimate, the very first match Sean Legacy had in Southern Legacy Wrestling, the very first time I ever saw it with Hunter Young, they legitimately tore the house down, and from then on, whenever Sean Legacy was booked on a show that I was on, I considered it a treat. I mean, he's young, he's hungry, looks a little bit like Zach Morris. We don't hold that against him, but I think you guys definitely made the right call in bringing Sean Legacy in.
See, you went for the Saved by the Bell reference on Sean Legacy, and I had been biting my tongue the entire time but saying the fact that in this picture that they have on the poster, Marco Stunt had the first season Screech haircut.
He's very Screech-esque, let me tell you.
I'll tell you right now, Sean Legacy looks like one of the CW kids. That's all I can say.
Look, if you're going to bring in Tiffany Amber Thiessen as a special guest referee or commentator, dude, I'll go ahead and just make I've already made my reservation, so you can't really get that part, but shoot, you know what I mean. Either that or Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls condition. I'm perfectly happy with that one, too. But, once again, this is going to be, and this is the afternoon live event. The Futures Showcase Tournament at the Soddy Daisy High School, 618 Sequoia Access Road in Soddy Daisy. Remember, you heard it a minute ago, and I'm going to reiterate what Dylan just said. If you already have a ticket for the SCI, this is only $5 to get in. If you just want to come to the Futures Tournament alone, it's only 10. And you are getting a chance with 9, and there's a little hook in here also that I'm going to come back to. But I'm going to say for the tournament itself, 9 premier talents that are working toward an opportunity. Now, the reason why I say there's an additional, because I understand that there is a very special tag team match taking place during this afternoon event.
Yeah, we've got a couple of other matches on this card. I mean, the reality is when you're putting an afternoon card together, this is not going to be a long show. I'm aiming for 90 minutes tops, but 4 matches ain't going to get you to 90 minutes in all likelihood. I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened, believe me. But we wanted to stretch things out and add a little bit of variety to the show. So we've got a tag team match. Will Allday and Brock Baker are going to be taking on IFHY, Jonathan Wolf and Sean Kemp. And what's interesting about this is these are 2 tag teams that represent completely different areas almost outside of the Southeast. You've got ATM, which is Allday and Baker. They're representing the basically Texas, right, in that area of the United States. It's a little bit, I mean, it's kind of the South, it's like its own world. And then with Kemp and Wolf, we're talking about 2 of the top guys in Indiana wrestling, top up-and-comers in Indiana wrestling, which, if you know anything about contemporary wrestling, independent wrestling, you know that a lot of the top prospects of the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years or so have come out of Indiana. Trip Cassidy's an Indiana guy, Sage Phillips an Indiana guy, Mance Warner, who will be in the SCI itself, is an Indiana guy. There's a lot of top prospects who have come out of Indiana. So I'm really excited for this matchup. Because it's expanding the scope a little bit beyond just what's happening here, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Carolinas. We're digging a little bit deeper with this one. And then we've got the ultimate singles match. I mean, we got to talk about this too, Eddie. We've got Ali versus Frazier 4.
I was going to do that one. I was going to do that because I hate to do this.
I'll give you your line.
But
Take
I'm going to go ahead and go old school because I haven't done this voice in forever and a day.
Well, then don't do it now.
Shut up, Billy.
Oh, don't.
Please don't do it now. Don't do it.
Which voice am I going to do?
I don't care. Just don't do it.
Okay,
just do
himself.
Eddie. That's bad enough.
Yes, I was going to say he was going with Cosell.
Yes, he was.
Oh, God.
Just
get
keep
it over
the
with.
Eddie voice. It's annoying enough.
Glad to know I can be annoying on my own. I have worked very hard to achieve that status in life.
I'd rather go on a 12-day road trip
All
with
right,
Corey Hollis.
fine. I won't do the Cosell voice.
Thank God.
Cue the Cosell voice in 3, 2, 1.
My fellow Americans. Oh, wait, that's Carter. Screw me. Okay. I was going to go for Clinton, but I changed my mind. If we're going to the 70s and early 80s with a Cosell reference, I could have at least gone ahead and stuck with Carter.
Why don't you just talk about this match?
Ladies and gentlemen, as we were starting to before I stole it right out, and I apologize for doing it that way, but then, of course, the unique criticism that I get from my co-host, blow me both of you.
I'd rather not.
A feature match.
Hey. Hashtag hell damn ass. But, no, real quick. Actually, I worked with David Ali last night. I've had the pleasure of working with him. Street Fighter David Ali. I like the guy. He's good. He's real good. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a fight. Like, these are 2 guys who are really tough. We wanted a singles match for this show. And Isaiah Frazier is coming off an NWA title match. He wrestled Nick Aldis for the NWA title just, a little bit over a month ago down up at Nova Pro in the greater Washington, D.C. area. And yeah, sounds about right.
And I knew that Frazier was talking about coming down, and I thought it would be a waste to have a guy as good as him not on the show. If he's interested in coming down, it'd be a waste not to utilize his talent. And I got to talking with Scott Hensley, and we thought, man, we can actually do Ali versus Frazier 4, and both these guys are actually good. It's not like it's a pure gimmick. These are actually two good wrestlers. So I admit that this one kind of was something we stumbled into, but it's actually something I'm really excited about.
Knowing both gentlemen the way I do, having worked with both of them, this is going to be a damn show stealer, plain and simple.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes.
If there was a great sportscaster alive today and he was going to call this match, what would it sound like?
Cosell has been dead for years, so I'm not even going to go back for that reference. And that shows me how up to date you are on current events. And I'm not going.
I said one of the great sportscasters.
He did.
Then I would have to do it I would have to do it in my own voice. Then
he said great.
Oh no,
not average.
Which great? Yeah, great.
I would have to do it in my own voice because I'm a legend in my own mind.
Ain't that the truth?
And that's just the afternoon, kids. The preceding night. Friday night, August 3rd. Saturday, August the 4th. It's on the 4th annual Scenic City Invitational Tournament. Friday night, you have got some great matchups in that first round with some top-tier talent from various parts of the country. There are matches in this first round that anywhere in this country would be classified as main events, show stealers, memorable video moments you want to take home. But remember, this entire show is going to be available for replay at a later point in time. No videoing is allowed during the live event. Let's look at
Very good.
Thank you. Let's look at some of these first round matchups. And it is, we're right now staring right at the top of the 7 o'clock hour on the East Coast, 5 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. You are listening to Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Layne, Mark MaBo Bowman, Billy Schmitke, being joined by extended family. And we're about to adopt you, damn it, from the Scenic City Invitational and the Scenic City Wrestling Group. I run this effing turkey. You don't, Schmitke. So I'll announce who we're going to adopt or not. Yeah. You're buying beer later, so go away. Actually, say right there, you're not going away yet.
Beer in the refrigerator.
Shut up. That's from WrestleMania. It's out of date. Welcoming in extended family and good friend of the family, Dylan Hales from the Scenic City Wrestling Group. Let's look at some of these Friday night matchups real quick. Darius Lockhart one-on-one with the Warhorse, Jake Parnell. Dylan?
It's going to be a fight. I mean, there's two matches that sort of go hand in hand in this frame of mind, which is this match and the Kane Justice Gary J match we can talk about later. But you've basically got one of the top guys from the Midwest who's really breaking out and doing his own thing, getting around the country more and more, and really becoming a major draw in the Midwest, particularly in his feud with Gary J and the Warhorse Jay Parnell. And he's going at it with Darius Lockhart, who is becoming one of the top stars in the North Carolina independent scene. So it's kind of a Midwest versus Mid-Atlantic theme here, both with this match and with the aforementioned Kane Justice Gary J match. I have to say, I'm going to stress this at the top because I don't want to forget this. When we put these matches together, we really wanted this first round to be about fresh and exciting matches that you really probably weren't going to see anywhere else other than the Scenic City. And I will note this out of the gate. 7 of these 8 matches have never happened before, ever. So if you come on Friday night, August the 3rd, you are going to see 7 matches that have never happened. Some of them probably could never happen anywhere other than the Scenic City Invitational, to be honest. And this is one of them.
And you made a reference to it, so let's dive on in. The Stiff Robo Ginger Gary J one-on-one with Kane Justice.
This one, I think, in terms of if you've been following like the greater independent scenes of their respective regions, and Gary J goes all over the place, really. Yep. But if you've been following it, I think this is maybe the sleeper match of the first round. Kane Justice is a legitimate wrestling prodigy. He's been in there with some of the top guys in independent wrestling over the last couple of years. Trevor Lee, Fred Yehai, Anthony Henry. And he's held his own. He's actually, he got a W over Anthony Henry recently in Action Wrestling live on Powerbomb.tv. And, he's coming into this with that big win on his back. And keep in mind, Gary J lost in the first round last year. And who did he lose to? Anthony Henry. So that's an interesting dynamic coming into the tournament. Gary J, one of the maybe the heaviest hands in pro wrestling pound for pound. I mean, I would rather die than get chopped by that guy. And Kane Justice, one of the best grapplers in pro wrestling. This is, I think, if I had to pick one sleeper that I think people might, if you don't know enough about one of these guys or the other, you might not come in with the same level of enthusiasm. But I think this has potential to be the show stealer on night one. High potential.
If you missed the Scenic City Rumble, I will throw this one out there. A slightly, just a little bit controversial situation took place, revolving around one of the participants in this next match. If you read his autobiography, it would very clearly say on page 1, I've worked to earn everything that I've got, and y'all haven't done jack. And I'm referring to, of course, a man who has been called a number of things, including Country Jack himself. I'm talking about Corey Hollis.
If you're going to talk about Corey Hollis, you first off need to reference him as what it is, the winner of this year's SCI.
You mean SCR?
And to follow that, and to follow that up with, only because O'Shea Edwards isn't in the tournament.
Corey Hollis would kill O'Shea Edwards.
Okay, let's stick to the...
Edwards would throw a cookie at Corey Hollis and win the match.
Hey, let's not bring the diabetes into this. He can't help
You said
it.
it, not me.
Dylan?
Well, you have to die to beat him.
Dylan, Birmingham's only a couple of hours from from where you are right now. Meet me down here, and we'll go to Texas Day Brazil and let them have this discussion.
Corey Hollis will win the SCI. Look at what he did at the Rumble. He outsmarted everyone and won the Rumble.
That's where I was going. Go ahead.
Because
he
he's
did
a
do
genius.
that. I mean, he did outsmart everyone. I was sitting maybe, 4 feet from Eddie, as sitting doing commentary with Dan Wilson above the ring, looking down over it. And Scott Hensley, of course, the one of the other people that's promoter of record with me, was doing the ring announcing. We had some other people in the back helping out, of course. And, we lost track of Corey Hollis in that match because Corey Hollis hit under the ring.
He did not hide. He strategically placed himself under the ring. He did not hide. Don't you call him a hider.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Billy.
Whatever he did, I'll give the devil his due. I'm not above doing that. He got the W. He did. He did what he had to do to win. He didn't break a rule to do it.
Nope.
Did he exploit a loophole?
Yep.
Sure. But some people might say that's what smart wrestlers do. And I will be the first person to tell you that I think Corey Hollis is one of the smartest wrestlers in wrestling, period. Maybe the smartest, actually. But the problem with Corey Hollis is also a smart aleck.
No. Billy, hold on. I got this one. Dylan, I have to correct you. Corey Hollis is not a smart aleck. He's a smart ass.
No.
Well, okay.
Corey Hollis is so good that Gunnar Miller and Kyle Matthews both faked an injury to get out of the SCI to not have to work Corey Hollis.
Well, I mean, listen, that is certainly an interesting theory, and I'd be happy to share that with Gunnar and Kyle if you like.
I ain't scared of Gunnar.
I would say this. Corey Hollis is going up against Ike Cross, and I think one of the most important things to think about when you think about this match is you can look at all the tail of the tape, and Ike physically he's more impressive than Corey. Okay, that's not Corey's fault, but it is what it is. But Corey's got all the experience. Corey's, I think, to be blunt, I think he's a more polished wrestler than Ike Cross. But you know what? The other thing about those two is Ike Cross has beaten Corey Hollis, and Corey Hollis has never beaten him.
That's right.
And
Ike Cross cheated to beat Corey Hollis.
Important statistic. And I believe that is the reason why Kyle Matthews picked Ike Cross, because I think he believes that Corey Hollis cannot beat him because it's been proven that he's been unable to so far. So we will see if the wily veteran's able to pull something off or not. Because even though Ike has beaten him before, I do think it would be fair to say that it would be an upset if Ike Cross were to beat Corey Hollis in the first round. And there is one other, I think, pertinent fact that I want all your listeners to think about here, which is and I hate to admit this because Corey Hollis rudely laid his hands on me after the Scenic City Rumble.
It was glorious when he did it.
Well, it was something. Yeah. And we'll get to that further down the line if need be. But what I will say is this. He has participated in 2 tournaments. He lost to Jimmy Rave as the last man standing in the final of the first year, and he lost to Matt Riddle in year 2. Now, Matt Riddle did not go on to win the tournament that year, but Matt Riddle did win the tournament, which means the only people who have ever defeated Corey Hollis in an SCI have gone on to win the tournament at some point. So if Ike Cross is able to get the win, I mean, if history is any indicator, that upset could extend much farther than the first round.
This is also one of those matches that I said could steal the show in any arena in the country right now, because you have one of the most explosive competitors out there in the form of Ike Cross, a gentleman who has been earning his stripes every city he hits. People are sitting back going, bring him back. And then you have one of the consummate professionals, like him, love him, hate him for his current attitude, but Corey Hollis, one of the best in our industry, plain and simple. So this is one that I will guarantee you can and very conceivably could steal the show in the first round. Another one of the matches, let's look at it. Mance Warner, Fred Yehi.
Ooh. Yeah, this is the match that I think is probably the match that the most people looked at and was shocked that it was even happening.
Yeah.
I had a ton of people when we announced this one, they were like, I didn't know I wanted to see this match, and now all I am thinking about is how much I want to see this match.
Well, they only want to see it because they know Manster is going to destroy Fred Yehi.
Hey,
really?
These are both my guys. I mean, I'll tell you flat out. I'll put my biases on the table. These are both very much Dylan Hale's guys. I love both of these guys. I love working with both these guys. I love them both as people. They're both fighters. People think about Yehi as being this great mat wrestler, which he is. He's tremendous, one of the best in the world. But he's extremely hard-hitting, too. Yeah. And Mance is about as hard-hitting as it gets. These guys are going to beat each other to death. There's several matches on this show that are going to fit into that category. I think it may have been, I can't remember if it was AJ Gray or Jake Parnell who said that this field is basically a field of guys who you really would not want to meet in a dark alley. And I think that is absolutely true. And I think this match exemplifies it. These two guys, I think it's hard to call a winner. Yehi is the most requested person we've ever had in the field. But Mance Warner, I would say, of all the people in the tournament, I think he might have the most to gain in the sense that he is right on the cusp to hitting that next level of independent wrestling stardom. He's right there. He's right on the edge of that precipice where he goes from being one of the tip-top guys that are in sort of your top regional groups to being that national level independent star. And I really think this tournament could put him over the edge.
MaBo, you wanted to say something on this one?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, you know what? Mance Warner is missing one thing for the Scenic City Invitational.
What, MaBo is his manager?
The Wildlings?
No. He's missing the Duke.
Okay.
Oh, if he had the Duke, that would be huge. I've got to grant you. I mean, for those not in the know, that's an AIW reference, and the Duke would absolutely enhance his chances of winning. I think that is 100% fair to say. But this is another one. I mean, it sounds like a broken record. It sounds like flat out promoter speak, and I realize that. But this is another one I could easily see stealing the show. And for so much of what we do on night one, it's so hard with night one because it's so easy for people to just go, I'm just going to come on night two. Because that's when I'm going to get the finals. It's when, and I understand that rationale. I really and truly do. But we work really hard to make sure that those night one matchups are dream matches. They're matches you're not going to see anywhere else, and this is another one of them.
Billy?
And real quick, Dylan, and you know this because, you've dropped some names on some tournaments, so you obviously know what you're talking about. You and I are probably on the same wavelength, and, if we lived closer together, we probably still wouldn't be friends, and I'm okay with that. But you always know from all these tournaments in the past, people skip night one. And what happens on night one? You get some of the best matchups. Happened this year at AIW recently. I mean, everybody skips night one for whatever reason. Like you said, we want to see the finals. We want to see this, blah, blah, blah. Go back. Kids, ask your grandparents to borrow their VHS tapes. Go look at your DVDs. Every Ted Petty Invitationals, all the, Bola, all this stuff. Go back and look at your night one matchups. Everybody's fresh. Everybody's, willing to set the pace because that's what they want to do in the night one of a tournament. They want to set the pace.
You're right. And people are out there trying to make their mark. And we've seen it. We've seen it at SCI. I mean, the first year, Anthony Henry and Jimmy Rave had a match that really set the tone for the history of the SCI. I mean, if that match does not happen in 2015, I don't know if we're having this conversation right now. In many ways, that match put the tournament on the map, and that was the semi-main event. It wasn't even the main event. It was the semi-main event on night one. You know, we saw it the second year when you had, not only did you have the Kyle Matthews and Chris Hero and also Matt Riddle and Corey Hollis on night one, but you had the Leo Rush versus Anthony Henry match on night one, which everyone was talking about, everybody was raving about, everybody was going nuts about. Last year you had Tank's retirement match versus Matt Riddle main eventing the show. You know, now don't get me wrong. There's some great stuff on night two. Last year would be the perfect example because that Gunnar Miller versus Matt Riddle match is still a match that people are talking about.
Yep.
But night one is not something to sleep on. If you can make it to both shows, you need to make it. If you can't, check it out when it drops on powerbomb.tv. But if you can make it to both shows, you really, really do need to make it. There will be a serious continuity and serious value to seeing both of these events.
Always worth it to make both nights, and the price is always fan-friendly. First round matchup in the SCI 2018, Kurt Stallion one-on-one with Joey Lynch. This will be the Don't Blink match of the night.
This is the upset match of the night. Kurt Stallion will beat Joey Lynch in 35 seconds because Joey Lynch is overrated.
Well, I mean, that's a take, and here's the thing. I think that this match is the match that I think has the most implications for the future of the tournament and the Scenic City in general because Kurt Stallion was on the winning team at Scenic City Trios back last November. Do you know who he beat to win that tournament? By the way, you know who he pinned?
Joey Lynch.
That's correct.
I know.
However, at last year's SCI in the final, these two men were both in the final. And while Kurt Stallion was not eliminated by Joey Lynch did last longer. It was Matt Riddle barely eking past Joey Lynch at the end of the day, not Kurt Stallion. Kurt Stallion was eliminated a little bit earlier in that matchup. But the big key with this match is this match guarantees that at most, there will be one returning finalist to this year's field. There may not be any because there's no guarantee that the winner of this is going to go on to the finals. They still got to get through whoever they're wrestling in the second round. But these are the only two return finalists. We wanted to ensure freshness in this year's field. We wanted to change it up, do something radical. So these guys who were literally two of the last guys standing last year, one of them's done after night one. That's it.
Joey Lynch is done.
And well, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Joey Lynch. Let's just be honest about it. Joey Lynch, a lot of people, I think, thought he had a decent chance last year. I do believe the favorite last year, at least among the fan vote, because I did do a poll. We did some polling on that last year, was actually Anthony Henry. But I do think there were a lot of people who thought Joey Lynch was going to take it home last year. I think there was a lot of people who thought the Lynch Mob and Kyle Matthews were going to win Scenic City Trios. That didn't happen. There's definitely going to be pressure on him this year. By the same token, Kurt Stallion has got, I mean, he is in his own way, he has become a Scenic City guy. He beat Billy Buck at the Scenic City Rumble in a match that a lot of people thought was the show stealer of that show. Mm-hmm. He won the aforementioned Scenic City Trios. His first time ever with us at last year's SCI, he took, he had two upsets, beat Jason Cade and then Eric Royal, and then he's the one who eliminated Anthony Henry in that final last year, who was the favorite coming into that match. So this is a hard one to call. I think on paper, you look at this, there are arguments for both of these guys. I think for a lot of people, this is going to be a match where they look at it and think whoever wins this is going to win the whole thing. I actually look at this match and think whoever wins this is going to be lucky to limp into the second round with enough breath to make it to the final.
Fortunately, the second round is the next night. From there, first round matchup. And this one got my attention very quickly. Nick Gage, Carrie Awful.
This is a fight. This is a match that, frankly, I'm a little bit nervous to even be putting on at a public school for a benefit.
True.
Carrie Awful, I'll just say it flat out. It's no secret to anybody. He's one of my best friends in the wrestling business. Nick Gage, I don't think has friends. They had a brief interaction in a tag team match up at Nova Pro back over Commonwealth Cup weekend, which again was probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now. Kerry stepped in when Gunnar Miller was not able to participate this year. We were all really adamant that it'd be another Tennessee guy. He is in many ways the heart and soul of Tennessee wrestling. He's somebody that we really thought deserved the opportunity. And as soon as we gave him the opportunity, what does he do? He calls out Nick Gage. To me, that's a crazy strategy. I don't know what he's planning on doing. This is a match that you will absolutely not see anywhere else other than the Scenic City Invitational. And it's gonna determine a lot, because it's literally the heart and soul of Tennessee wrestling. Kerry Awful, a guy who I think people mainly think of as a tag team guy, but he's had some success as a singles wrestler around the region, especially in Southern Underground Pro recently. And he's going up against a guy that is legitimately terrifying and legitimately dangerous in a way that we haven't seen in pro wrestling maybe since the era of Abdul the Butcher and Bruiser Brody and Nick Gage. And I honestly don't know what we're going to do to even contain this match. I don't know if this thing's going to get thrown out. I don't know if we're going to even be able to keep this in the ring long enough to ring a bell to start it, because Kerry Awful called his shot. It's one thing to get put into a match with Nick Gage, but to call out Nick Gage by name and say, I want to fight you and beat you up, I love Kerry, but I'm not sure that's a wise strategy. And I really do. I mean, this could be Dylan, running around the gym desperately trying to convince these guys not to kill each other. That literally could be what this is for 10, 15, 20 minutes till one of them passes out.
Look, I love Kerry Awful to death. I think he's an amazing talent. But Nick Gage is going to stab him repeatedly with one of them prison shanks. So,
but dude, thing about it is, Kerry Awful.
You have refereeing this match, I need you to have 2 referees, and I need them both to pat down Nick Gage, check the inside of his mouth. Make sure he ain't got a paper clip he can straighten out and poke Kerry in the eye with. Make sure he ain't boofing anything.
Oh, God.
He's going to stab. He's going to shank. He's not even going to stab. He's going to shank Kerry Awful. So for the fans of the Carnies and of Kerry Awful, for God's sakes, make sure he doesn't have anything on him.
But see, here's where I got to cut you off, MaBo. With all due respect, you're making a reference to the Music City Mutt. You're talking about one part of the Carnies, so 1/2, 1/3, depending on if you add Trip Cassidy. From that vantage point, you're talking about somebody that excels in a weapons match circumstance, someone who excels in a brawl, someone who excels in a fight. So if Kerry's going to call out Nick Gage, that means that Kerry Awful has a game plan in place and is pretty much going, and I know there's no room for pretty much when it comes to a situation against Nick Gage, but you can be rest assured that Kerry Awful is going to have everything in place to level the playing field against someone like Nick Gage.
Eddie, 3 words. Nick effing Gage. That's all you got. That's all you need to know.
And he can,
or he might say murder, death, kill.
Yeah.
Whatever 3 words you want to use for that guy, it's scary, right? And I think that's the gist. And this is another one of these matches in round 1 where you look at it and you go, okay, somebody has to wrestle again after this. And even though it's the next night, in order to win this tournament, you got to win the first night, then you got to win in the second round, then you got to go to a 4-way elimination final on night 2. And when you're looking at this kind of match, I don't know. Even if one of these guys walks out a sentient being, I don't know how they go into night 2 with any sort of capability to compete against anybody. So that dynamic, I don't think, can be understated for some of these matches.
Billy?
MaBo made a reference about the referee for this match. Well, if you're going to have 2 crazy people in there, why not have a crazy referee? Why not get Tasha Simone to be the ref?
Because she was one of the ones who originally trained Kerry Awful.
That's right.
She'll stab
Kerry's
somebody quicker than
one of Tasha's kids. So
she'll stab somebody quicker than Nick will.
She'll run somebody over with a bike faster than you can blink and say, burrito.
Frankly, I'm too scared to book Tasha, if we're being completely honest.
Why are you scared?
Most people are scared.
She is an angel.
I think Breaking Benjamin had a song called Evil Angel that pretty much fits Tasha in that regard.
She is the sweetest lady in the world.
She's punching you in the face.
I'll tell you this, she's meant a ton to wrestling in this region, and she doesn't get enough credit. That's a topic for another show, but
we can go there. We can go there.
That is, if you ever want to have me on again to talk about unheralded people in this region of the country, Tasha Simone's near the top of the list.
Be careful what you wish for. You will get it. And actually, you're talking, like I say, Tasha, of course, one of the former colleagues here, Beyond Ringside alumni, not only on the To Be Determined show Wednesday nights, but of course on Beyond Ringside Live on Sundays. But
and she stole my gimmick. She stole my gimmick about broadcasting from a bathtub. By the way, we still never addressed that.
Let's move on.
I would much rather think about Tasha Simone naked in a bathtub than think about you naked in a bathtub.
You're nasty. Let's move on.
I always get in the bathtub.
And let's go to the has-been Too Cold Scorpio against AJ Gray.
No. Let's talk about a Kodak moment coming to life in this one when you're talking about one of the hottest young prospects.
Flash Funk?
No, when you're talking about one of the hottest young prospects, not only in the southeastern U.S., but all the way up and down the eastern seaboard in AJ Gray.
I didn't say anything negative about AJ Gray.
Let me get there. Taking on a tried and true aerial legend that has appeared on WWE, World Wrestling Federation, World Championship Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling, national television, international pay-per-view. Live events galore around the world, and if you've watched this man lately, it ain't a chant of you still got it. It's a chant of you never lost it. I'm talking
He's 110.
And the man can still move like nobody's business. Trust me.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
And he's taking on what? Captain Head Injury, AJ Gray? Yeah. Make sure AJ brings his colostomy bag with him, because he's gonna have another freaking head injury. He's gonna poop his pants. He's gonna be like, Go ahead.
Now let's do the real version of the promo.
Let's go to the next match now.
No, we're not. Dylan, come on in. Too Cold Scorpio versus AJ Gray.
Well, we started talking about older guys who are tough and colostomy bags. I thought we were doing a Harley Race segment for a second.
Oh!
But
that'd been a funny segment.
This match, I mean, it really is kind of a generational story here. AJ Gray, this is one of his dream matches. You got what you asked for. Now you got to deliver. It's one thing to say you want to fight one of these old timers who you've looked up to for years, but the reality is this guy, Too Cold Scorpio, is still an athletic freak. He's still more athletic than 99.999% of guys on the independent scene today. He's another guy that you don't think of as being heavy-handed, and then you hear the stories and you know the lore, and he's one of the toughest, most legit guys in pro wrestling history. And this is going to be a fight. And we're going to see probably some crazy flips and some other high-flying stuff and some other wild stuff, but do not underestimate the possibility of this thing breaking down into a fight as well, because sometimes when the young whippersnapper steps up and thinks he's, he can outshine and outclass the older guy, things do not go as planned, and somebody ends up getting their teeth kicked in. And this is another one of those matches that fits that I don't want to run into these guys in a dark alley motif of the show, and I think it's one of the matches that's gotten the most intrigue from our fan base as well.
And another one that I have to break down that's going to look like a fight personified, Cyrus the Destroyer. This is the last of the first-round matchups. Friday night, August 3rd, in Saudi Daisy, as part of the Scenic City Invitational. Round 1, Cyrus the Destroyer. You could call him the Destroyer. You can call him the Death Star if you want to. He can function under either title and get away with it. Disney wouldn't touch him on this one. Going one-on-one, PCO Pierre Car Oulet, or Oulet, depending on how you want to pronounce it. There's always an argument about this. PCO, Cyrus the Destroyer. Dylan?
Well, you got, on the one hand, you've got arguably the best big man in the Southeast. Somebody might say O'Shea Edwards. I wouldn't argue with that logic. Some people might say Logan Creed. He's another one that's awfully good. It's not, but in terms of pure athleticism and pure just having meat on those bones and knowing how to use it, Cyrus is about as good as it gets. He's been extremely underappreciated, in my opinion. In terms of local or regional guys, he's by far the most requested guy we've had for the Scenic City Invitational, probably for the last 3 years straight. And he's earned this opportunity. But he has as big a test as he's got, because as you could possibly have, really, because he's in there with a guy that's, going around telling people that he's not human while he's getting his nipples electrocuted and ripping tennis balls in half with his mouth and headbutting walls and bending boards over his head and all this other crap in PCO. And I really, honestly feel like of all the matches in the first round, this is the match that I think is going to it has the most potential to put somebody on the map. Because if Cyrus the Destroyer, who is, like I said, he's been underappreciated. In some ways, he might be the least known guy in this field, if we're being dead honest, and I see no reason not to be.
Okay. If
he comes in here and knocks off PCO, he's a made guy. I mean, PCO's very, very possibly the top name in independent wrestling right now. As crazy as that sounds, if you went back a year from now and said that, people would say you're absolutely nuts. The reality is, at this moment in time, it's very, very possible that the top name, certainly one of the top handful of names in all of indie wrestling, is PCO. And if Cyrus the Destroyer can beat him, Cyrus is a made man, period. On the other hand, PCO does not underestimate anybody. He's gone all over this country. He's wrestled and internationally for that matter, and he's wrestled some of the top guys. He's had crazy matches you wouldn't believe with everybody from Dan Moff at What Wrestling recently to Channing Decker at Demand Lucha, to Joey Janela at GCW, Walter at Janela Spring Break. I mean, he's wrestled everybody that you can think of, a huge gamut of guys. There's nothing Cyrus can do that he has not seen before, and PCO would probably argue that there's nothing Cyrus can do that he can't do better. And I think this is one of those matches where I'm going to spend the majority of my time on my hands and knees praying to God that they do not literally break the wrestling ring, because they're going to be flipping and flying and high impact from bell to bell.
Folks, you've heard about.
And I think hold on. And I just think that it's great that PCO has got this career resurgence, and I look at Scenic City once again doing the smart thing, capitalizing on talent that's hot right now, and once again giving PCO a chance. A lot of people, like you said, a year ago, people would have been like, the Quebecer? The Pirate? Are you serious? And look at it now. So my hat's off to Scenic City for scooping up PCO on this one.
It's all breaking down less than 2 weeks away. We're talking about the Scenic City Invitational.
The Corey Hollis Invitational Tournament.
Soddy Daisy High
School. The O'Shea Edwards Appreciation Night.
Soddy Daisy High School. Doors are going to open now. Is this on both nights or Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern?
Both nights will be 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Now, this is in addition. Now, remember, in addition to the SCI 2-night event, you also have 1:30 p.m. for the doors, 2 o'clock start time for the Futures Tournament. So theoretically, folks, let's look at this. Let's be real. You have 3 huge events taking place within 2 days under one roof, courtesy of one company. Here is the part where you're going to look at your speakers and go, what the hell? Ticket prices for Friday night, Dylan.
$15 floor seats, which is basically first 4 rows. I don't set out a ton. I want people to get their value. $10 general admission, which is anywhere in the bleachers or standing room.
You've heard us talk about the first round matchups. Give me those ticket prices one more time.
$15 to sit on the floor, $10 to sit in the bleachers.
Can they not sit in chairs instead of sitting on the floor?
They could sit in chairs on the floor. I might even put out, if I can find some, I might even put out some of those cushions that they put out in Sumo Hall in Japan. We'll see. I'll look into it.
He gonna break out the donuts.
You're getting fancy now.
You overshot me on that one. He gonna break out the donuts. You're gonna have an easier time sitting to sail in that chair. Meanwhile, okay. Second night, round 2, doors open at
6:30.
6:30.
I'm letting the promoter handle that part.
He didn't
Billy.
realize that part.
Yes, he did. He knew you were about to run over him. That's why he waited a second. Good move, Dylan. Congratulations. Did I cover for you on that one?
Appreciate it.
Ticket prices for night 2 are...
Same deal. You want to sit on the floor, first 4 rows of chairs, $15 a piece. General admission bleacher seating, $10.
Now, if they want to try to get tickets for both nights...
If you wanted to get tickets for both nights, for one person, you can sit on the floor for those 2 shows as well as the Futures Showcase for $35. If you decide you don't want to do Futures, it's $30 to sit on the floor. If you just want to sit in the bleachers, it's $20 for both nights. And that is universal. I don't particularly care where you want to sit in the building, but I do not think you want to miss this one. I will say that if you get advance tickets, you will get first entry, and that makes a substantial difference, particularly if you have floor seats, because people will make a rush to those front row seats, and they will be gone.
Oh, yeah.
At this moment in time, I don't have an exact number, but I can tell you there is a solid chance we will sell out of floor seats before doors even open at all.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that. Last year on night 1, I sold about 5 at the door, and then they were done. And on night 2, they were actually sold out in advance. This year, it's probably going to be a similar situation. So if you want those floor seats, if you want to be right in on the action at Saudi Daisy High School August 3rd and 4th, you absolutely need to get in contact with me. You can get tickets from me directly. You can message me on Twitter at Dylan Waco. You can also email me, Dylan Waco. That's DYLANWACO @gmail.com. I can handle all your ticket needs, whether it be for Futures, whether it be for night 1, night 2, all of the above, some combo thereof. We can get it done, but I am cutting off ticket sales on August the 1st. I hate to do it. There's accounting reasons. This is a benefit for high school, of course, the athletic department at Saudi Daisy High School. I got to get all my ducks in a row, and I need a couple of days to make sure I've got everything set aside and money out and ready to go for the school. So August 1st at the close of business, 5 p.m., you can't get them anymore in advance. We will have some at the door, certainly when it comes to general admission seats, but again, I cannot promise you if you want to sit on the floor right in there on the action at Saudi Daisy High School on August 3rd and 4th. I cannot promise at all that those floor seats will be available. So if you want those especially, get with me ASAP.
Now, let's clarify. Wait. Hold on.
Added bonus. Okay. I was going to say, and as an added bonus, if you use the code MaBo to Dylan at the event, if you go up to him and say MaBo, he will look at you and say, what is that?
If you use the code MaBo at the event, I will tase you and have you removed from the building.
Yes! I was too busy leaning back and throwing up my arms in victory. I did not hit this button, which is what I really wanted to do. Now, I was going to give a moment of clarification because you did not put one little thing on there, and I'm going to go back and add this one for you. The close of business 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes.
On that day. Not 5 p.m. Grand Mountain Time, not p.m. Pacific Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is where he is talking about is the cutoff for advanced ticket sales.
That is correct. And I should mention this, I suppose, as well, Eddie, because this shockingly does come up a lot because Chattanooga's right there almost in Central Time, but we're not in Central Time.
Right.
We are Eastern Time.
I know.
And every single year, there is a fan or a talent or somebody who the day of the show goes, oh, man, you guys aren't on Central Time? No, we're not.
No.
We're just over the line. So we are Eastern Time Zone here.
Now, real quick, how can everybody find out the latest? If you have updates for the SCI now, I know there's some stuff we didn't cover because of time constraints. I'll cover those probably on Thursday night on the Shooters Gallery. But how can everybody keep track of the late-breaking information for SCI?
Well, the easiest way to really follow us in the now and the immediate is to follow us on Twitter. That's at SCI Tournament on Twitter. You can also follow me on Twitter. I do a lot of the retweets of the stuff, and sometimes I'll tweet some other things that are germane to the tournament, particularly as it regards ticketing or hotel or whatnot from my private account, which is at Dylan Waco. That's DYLANWACO. That's also where you want to message if you want tickets. If you're interested in tickets, at Dylan Waco on Twitter is the place to go. We may still have a couple of announcements. We may not. We do have that scramble match, which we just unfortunately didn't have time to cover. We've got 3 participants announced for that already on night 2. It's going to be Matt Lynch, AC Mack, and Cam Carter are announced so far for that. And then, of course, that field will fill itself out. Got some other crazy stuff coming up for night 2, where we'll have, of course, the second round and the finals of the tournament as well. And again, Eddie made the pitch for me, but realistically, I don't think you're going to see too many independent wrestling shows with this amount of talent for these ticket prices. So by all means, come out, support the show. Saudi Daisy High School, August 3rd and 4th here in the greater Chattanooga area, the 4th annual Scenic City Invitational Tournament. I hope to see you guys there.
Dylan, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on board. Before I let you run, I didn't see your response on this one. Are you up for joining us for quick predictions on Slammiversary for tonight?
I know so little about Contemporary Impact that I would be doing a grave disservice to your listeners to stay around, because I'd be stammering through everything. I do understand that the LAX intra feud is very interesting, and I will say that I hope Su Yung wins. That's my comment there for you before you pitch to that segment.
That's another one of Tasha's children.
There you go.
Yep, absolutely.
Dylan, always a pleasure.
And Dylan, before we let you go, Cabana Man Dan says hello.
Oh, yes. What a great guy. One of my favorite people in pro wrestling. So tell him I said hello as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our best friends, extended family, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the 4th. I can't make it for the 3rd. I work 2 jobs that night, but folks, you need to be in Saudi Daisy on August 3rd and 4th. North Carolina, South Carolina, short drive. Western Tennessee, short drive. Kentucky, short drive. Alabama, Georgia, short drive. For the caliber of talent that is on this show. Night 1, night 2, short drive.
You ride with Corey Hollis. It's a long drive.
Well, I actually think that may be true. And on that note, just the mention of his name has driven me off the air. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
If you pay him a little more money, he'll do the autograph signing instead of Duke the Dumpster.
Oh, Schmitke, there will be Dylan, I'll send you the lawn darts to throw at Schmitke when you see him on Friday.
Sounds great.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Scenic City Group, Dylan Hales. Dylan, always a pleasure, and I'll see you on the 4th, brother.
See you then.
Folks, we're going to run these light speed real quick tonight in about 20 minutes or less. Impact presents the 16th incarnation of Slammiversary. Slammiversary 2018. Let's run these. We're not going to go heavy into the storyline side of it. We're going to go straight up for prediction factors.
There's a storyline in TNA?
Yes, actually quite a few. And if you've missed if you've missed Impact lately, TNA's dead. That's why they could get away with talking about it on Bruce Pritchard's podcast. If you've missed Impact lately, you've missed a lot of good action with a lot of good stars on it. And tonight, it all comes together as Impact Wrestling presents Slammiversary. Pentagon Jr. one-on-one, Sami Callihan. MaBo?
This is the hair versus mask match, correct?
Yes, it is.
Pentagon Jr. or Pentagon Dark or Penta, whatever you want to call him at this point.
Schmitke?
Didn't the Pentagon get hit by a plane on 9/11? So
this is Pentagon Jr.
I'm going to go with the white man.
Cripes.
Gee, there's a shot.
No kidding. He is the SS
he's
for a reason.
He's going to build a wall. That's how he's going to win.
Good Lord.
I was going to say he's going to build a wall.
I am personally,
peace, Wall.
As this is mask versus hair, I'm going Pentagon Jr. all the way on this one.
I bet he's an ugly son of a gun.
There you go. In an international 4-way, and we have had a change in the lineup because of an injury at MLW. Rich Swann is out. Petey Williams is in. And it will be Petey Williams, Johnny Impact, Bone Soldier Ishimori, and Phoenix. MaBo?
I think the second half of the Lucha Brothers takes it. I'm going to go with Phoenix or Ray Phoenix, where they've got him booked.
They've got him listed as Phoenix, not as Ray Phoenix.
Okay, well, I didn't know if they were allowed to use the Lucha Underground names, so.
They've been doing Lucha Underground versus Impact for a while on and off, so I imagine the crossover is there, and I'm sure that, the front office of Impact has gotten everything taken care of for a change as far as the licensing and the naming goes. Billy?
Which side of the Bullet Club is Ishimori with?
Bone Soldier?
Yeah, which side of the Bullet Club is he with? Is
I
he
don't
with
know
the
if it even
Tongans?
matters.
Is he with the Tongans or is he with the other ones?
I haven't seen in the last 24 hours. Hell, people flip sides so often it's not even funny.
I'm still going to go with Ishimori because that's a jacked up little Japanese dude.
See, actually, I'm going Ishimori as well on this one due to the fact that
I want Petey Williams.
Say what?
I want Petey Williams since you stole my thought.
Well, no. I looked at when it was originally Rich Swann. I was going with Swann.
No, they'd built a
but with everything that Rich Swann has gone through lately, I think that would be a great move for him to be able to capture that win live on pay-per-view tonight on Slammiversary. Come on. Don't even go there, dude. I'm being legit. This is real.
Seriously, Billy, come on, dude. No.
He got fired.
And falsely accused.
Anyway.
Next.
Thank you.
Keep rolling.
Johnny Impact would be the obvious choice because Johnny Impact or Mundo or whatever the hell he's going by this week, the man with the to-be-determined last name, I don't see him putting...
don't say that.
I don't think that Phoenix would be the one to go over in this one. I think because of overall, I give it to Ishimori. Legit. Because I think that it's going to make more wrestling news stream headlines if he does go over. In more than just the United States and North America. But from that vantage point, a House of Hardcore rules match. Eddie Edwards, Tommy Dreamer, Schmitke.
Well, rumor and innuendo says that Tommy Dreamer is sleeping with Eddie Edwards' wife. And at his age and his weight, to be with a 25-year-old, I got to go with Tommy Dreamer beating Eddie Edwards.
MaBo.
Well, Dreamer does have that extra layer of blubber to protect him from any kendo stick shots or anything. And plus, this is his wheelhouse. So since we're going to throw logic out the door, I'm saying Eddie Edwards.
I'm actually saying Eddie Edwards on this one also because Dreamer really has nothing to gain by a victory here tonight. But as far as everything that has occurred...
Have you seen Eddie's wife? He's got a lot to gain.
Professionally speaking, I don't give a damn who he's married to.
He's hardcore, and he'll take on her and Beulah.
I'm going Edwards on this matchup. Knockouts division
Tonight,
matchup.
come on and want to lay a desk atop the ECW.
There you go.
Right.
That was funny. Tessa Blanchard one-on-one with Allie. Mark MaBo Bowman.
I'm going to go ahead and preface this before I say anything. Eddie, just don't even throw to Schmitke. Don't throw to Schmitke. I'm gonna go with Tessa. But yeah, you just say your prediction to keep going. Mute Billy's mic. Do not let him say anything.
The way I'm looking at this situation right now, who stands to gain more from a victory in this matchup? A lot of people are going to say because of certain independent variables, Blanchard would be the one to go over. In other realms, Allie has the most to gain by going over in this matchup. And he is about to pop.
I can actually, but Eddie, I will go a little bit addendum to this. I could see Kiera Hogan coming down and costing Tessa the match and giving it to Allie. I could see that happening.
I can see that happening as well with the way things have been booked in that particular situation right now. Am I brave enough to do this, MaBo, or am I just going to go ahead and say, hell no, I ain't taking the risk?
Do you want to get out of there? Do you want to get out of there to get to where you're going? Then you keep rolling. If you want to wait another 20 minutes, you let him speak on Tessa Blanchard. I know you want to do it. I know you want to let him loose, so go ahead.
I'm afraid he can't keep it clean.
Billy?
I'm afraid he can't keep it hashtag hell damn ass.
Yes.
Billy, what do you think about Tessa Blanchard?
No, what do you think about this matchup?
The flat-faced phenom will win.
The X Division Championship is on the line tonight. Matt Seidel defending against Brian Cage.
How's Brian Cage in the X division?
It's not about weight limits. It's about no limits.
Again.
Oh, God. They still use that tag.
Phone ringing.
I know.
And Tessa Blanchard will beat Allie, even though Allie looks better because she's not a flat face.
There you go.
Well, if Brian Cage has his Infinity Gauntlet from Lucha Underground, then he'll win the title tonight.
Okay, serious prediction. Who you going with, Billy?
Brian Cage, because he gets over on certain people every night.
MaBo?
I kind of want to know what that means, so we need to hurry up and wrap this up. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Brian Cage. I'm going to Brian Cage.
Then we have a clean sweep on this one because I'm going Brian Cage as well. From there, 5150 street fight for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. LAX and Hannah and Ortiz with Conan in their corner, taking on the OGs with King in their corner. Mark MaBo Bowman.
First of all, Conan looking like a Latino ice train right now, or a freight train. I'm sorry. Ugh, he looks horrible. If the titles on the if the titles are on the line, that I kind of want to change my answer, but I got to go OGs. I got to go OGs and Eddie Kingston. You know, I love me some Eddie Kingston anyway, but I got to go OGs.
Billy Schmitke.
So it's the 5150 street. That means somebody has to die, right?
Pretty much.
Oh, then
no, 5150 just means crazy. It just means crazy. It doesn't mean death.
Because they've already lost one Super Mex. He's already killed himself, so I'm going to go with the OGs. And I don't think Super Mex will commit suicide tonight.
There you go. In all sincerity, I've been watching the storyline unfold, and I've really been happy with the way that it's been unfolding, although in the back of my mind, I just cannot help but laugh and sit back and go, damn, didn't we already have Midnight Express versus Midnight Express back about 30 years ago? Or 25?
These are Mexicans. They're not Midnight Express.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was in the middle of yawning and I almost choked to death.
I know it.
Oh, my God. Okay, keep going, because I got to pee, guys.
For those who do not know, the SS that I refer to is Fecal Reference Starter.
I don't start nothing.
Yes, you do. You will say. You make Howard Stern look like the Pope. What are you talking about? Just none of us makes that kind of money. I'm going to go ahead and sit back and say that Santana and Ortiz retained the championships tonight. I think
next.
Yeah. Impact Knockouts Championship. Madison Rayne in the role of challenger against Su Yung. Billy?
The ref wins that one.
MaBo?
The former Mrs. Jerry Lawler, Su Yung.
There's no chance in hell that Madison Rayne picks up the Knockouts Championship tonight. This is to carry over a bridge until they set everything up. I'm really glad to see Madison Rayne on Slammiversary.
So is her husband.
Of course. But by the same token, I don't see Madison Rayne winning the championship tonight. I have all the respect for her in the world for her as an in-ring talent. Still not a big fan of her on the microphone after all these years. But as far as in-ring talent, I think Madison Rayne is definitely top tier. But
Madison wins because Velvet Sky interferes.
Da-doom-doom. Not going to happen.
Sit back and watch.
And for the Impact World Championship, the greatest man that ever lived, the champion, Austin Aries, defends against his number one contender, simply stated, Moose. The SS, Billy Schmitke, your prediction.
My prediction goes with the movie Hot Tub Time Machine 2. If you've ever seen it, there's a part in there where the guy's singing a song. And when Moose comes out to the ring, he's doing the dance. It's called the Dick Picker. I'm picking Moose. And that's a song, so you can't get mad.
Mark MaBo Bowman.
Can he say that?
Nope.
I could have said a lot worse.
But I do know the reference he made, so I'm trying not to laugh. A lot of people say Moose Nation. They say it's time for Moose Nation. But it is Austin Aries, and Austin Aries is someone you want to keep, especially in a rebuilding era, that you want to keep your belt on, want to keep the focal point on. But I don't know, man. My gut and my full bladder are saying Moose.
From that vantage point, I have to weigh the options about who has more to gain and what does the company stand to gain. Tonight, Well, does it mean more for Aries to successfully defend against Moose, the hot up-and-comer? Does it mean more for Moose to capture the belt and be pushed, hopefully, to that next level? I don't think Moose is on Austin Aries' level as far as being an in-ring performer. I don't think Moose is on Austin Aries' level when it comes to cutting a promo. He is very vanilla in that regard. I don't, even when he gets pissed off, he doesn't show that real intensity to make it believable. There are times when the individual makes the championship and elevates it to a higher level. There are times when a championship can force a person to elevate their game to a higher level. I'm willing to bet tonight Impact rolls the dice to see if their world championship gets Moose to take things to another level in the upward direction. Your winner tonight and new Impact World Champion will be the man called Moose. Billy, what has stood out to you in the week that was in wrestling entertainment? Or wrestling and entertainment?
MaBo, he stood out. If you don't follow him on social media, you need to start. Next.
Mark MaBo Bowman, what has stood out to you this week?
Well, I'm a little flustered there, and the kind words of Billy Schmitke. Nothing's really stood out. I mean,
the Fink died.
Raw's, huh?
The Fink's gonna die. I just see that.
Yeah, the Fink's probably gonna die. Brickhouse Brown passed away. Ray De Jalisco Sr.
Brickhouse
passed
Brown
away.
was found alive. He's not dead. Brickhouse Brown's not dead.
Really? Everybody's posting that he died.
If you go look at David Young's social media, you'll see where it was a false statement.
Oh. Well, if he's alive, then yay.
He just hung out with Chase Stevens too much.
Oh, shoot.
But
almost got it.
The one who's the one who definitely is not alive is Ray De Jalisco. So, but I mean, nothing's really stood out too much. Once again, WWE, they're trending towards that blah. So it is what it is. You know what stands out? That Scenic City Invitational card. That's what stands out. So make sure you're there August 3rd and 4th. I would be there, but unfortunately, my cousin decided to get married on the 4th. Whatever. I know. That's why I'm not going to be able to be in attendance.
We can make the cardboard cutout of you, MaBo. It won't be that difficult.
Actually, Eddie, besides MaBo's great social media post about wanting to blow up on somebody, the fact that Adam Page beat Bad Luck Fale in night 1 of the G1, that's
what?
Adam Page beat Bad Luck Fale night 1, but he ain't won another match since.
There you go.
I haven't even had a chance. I hadn't had a chance to look at the results and everything. Oh my God, that's a win right there.
And I can't say what Fale's new catchphrase is because Eddie's looking at me. It's not in the parameters.
Can you
Can you paraphrase it?
Nope, I can only say the word.
Did he say it on Being the Elite?
Yes.
Okay, then I know what it is.
And then we're going to leave it alone. Short version for me earlier this week when it came together for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. Congratulations, Bryce. Hell of a job. I saw immediately after the Home Run Derby the Celebrity Softball Tournament or Celebrity Softball Game. Featuring, of course, the Miz, Mike Mizanin. Miz turned in a solid performance in the Celebrity Softball Game, meriting him for himself and earning for himself Most Valuable Player honors. Way to go, brother. Nicely done. And what's funny is he
Hey,
came
when does the Miz and Mrs. start? By the way, do you know?
24th Tuesday after SmackDown on the USA Network.
Oh,
The same time as Shark Week. How dumb can they
I'm
be?
looking forward to this.
I'm actually looking forward to this one. It's a 6-episode run from what I understand. Everything's already in the can. They've done a good job of keeping some stuff under wraps, for which I'm very impressed. Also, from there, it's like this is going to be the only, so other than Tough Enough, the only real reality-based show, quote unquote, air quotes, the WWE has put out that I have any interest whatsoever in watching.
He watches Total Bellas.
No,
too.
he does not.
Oh, don't start.
He's a Bella
He's
mark.
trying to get out of there. Don't get him going.
He
Talk
loves
about
him
a
some
Bella
Nikki
mark.
Bella.
Really? You really want to go there? On air?
Oh, we
Guys,
can go.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I know. That's why I'm going to keep him going.
Actually, my immediate follow-up was, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction because I know you're just trying to push buttons. And by the way, thank you, Brooks Logan. I meant to do this earlier this week for tagging me in a post from some company in Georgia when they said that in a special guest star at their Legends convention was going to be Karen frickin' Angle. Thank you, Brooks. I love you, brother, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And to the company that is bringing her in as talent, stupid.
Would you rather
Actually,
Just
be locked
leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it. We're going home now. I got to leave.
room with Nikki Bella?
I would rather be locked in a room by myself, okay? Leave it alone. From that point, you ain't going to win this round. Sorry, dude. You're telegraphing. It's like Ric Flair going to that top turnbuckle. It ain't going to work. You're like 1 in 30 years for that one. Yeah.
Eddie, real quick, is there any truth to the rumor that Karen Angle insisted on getting paid all in $1 bills because that's how she's normally used to getting paid?
No,
That's just rumor and innuendo.
She wanted Georgia club cash.
That only people who go to Georgia for that understand that joke.
There you go.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will you do your 5,000 ways of saying goodbye?
Of course. Maybe you want to throw.
I gotta pee. Let's wrap it up.
Okay. Dylan Hales, thank you, brother. Great to have you back on board. Looking forward to the Scenic City Invitational. Impact Slammiversary started 1 minute ago, and I'm on the way out to Kimberly, Alabama for a basically memorial for friend.
Das Vidanya.
Auf Wiedersehen.
To be determined
Aloha.
show. To be determined show Wednesday nights 9 o'clock. Shooters Gallery Thursday nights 9 o'clock. Both times are Central. From that point on their Spreaker
Sayonara.
feed, Corner to Corner will kick off in about 1 hour from now. Good Lord. I'll see you on Fridays. Buffalo Wild Wings Alabaster, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time.
Ciao.
Dude. It's getting funnier every time you do it. I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face because you're actually getting some of them right for a change. Oh, my God. Schmitke read the script. Holy crap. 4, Mark.
Sayonara.
And, of course, as always, Mark runs right over the cues. 4, Mark MaBo Bowman.
Arrivederci.
From the SS Schmitke.
Huh. Just do your 5,000 goodbyes.
Until next time, join us right here as we all go Beyond Ringside on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Bye for now.
Wow, you didn't do the 5,000.
Shut up.